Do you ever see something so outrageously petty that you can't decide whether to laugh, scream, or applaud? That was me, tightening the last bolt on a 6-foot fence that now sliced our shared lakefront and tore right through the grass, the dock, and Margaret's private jet ski ramp. Behind me, a dozen stunned neighbors watched in silence. On the other side of the fence, Margaret, cousin of our HOA president, Karen, stood frozen, her luxury loungers now stranded on someone else's property. But this wasn't about a fence. It was about years of power, abuse, favoritism, and one woman's ego finally crashing into reality. I moved into Willowbrook Estates 5 years ago, drawn in by the deeded lakefront access. My property and a few others shared a private beach and dock. My kids and I spent summers fishing, swimming, and building memories. It was paradise. Then, 6 months ago, Karen became HOA. She turned petty rules into a weapon. Fines for grass being too tall, banned wind chimes, required HOA approval for planting flowers. But worse, she played favorites. Her brother-in-law got a landscaping job. Her childhood friend landed the pool contract. And when cousin Margaret flew in for a visit, the rules just stopped applying. Margaret didn't just enjoy the lake, she annexed it. Tiki torches, loud music, industrial-grade loungers, and a jet ski ramp went up on the shared beach right in front of my house. When I asked her politely to move her setup, she smirked and waved a paper in my face. A supposed easement reassignment, signed by Karen, giving her exclusive access to the space. I'm a contracts lawyer. That document might as well have been written in crayon. I dug into the HOA charter, property records, and my deed. The lakefront was legally deeded to my property. No HOA voter mystery reassignment could override that. I presented this at the next HOA meeting. Karen turned bright red and claimed they'd changed the bylaws in a secret meeting. She even threatened $500 ID fines for anyone who challenged her authority. Meanwhile, Margaret expanded her setup and physically blocked my 8-year-old daughter from reaching the water. That was it. Game on. I hired a licensed surveyor who marked the exact boundary between our properties. Margaret's party zone sprawled well onto my side. Then I ordered fencing, a lot of it. At sunrise, the crew and I installed it right down the middle of the lakefront. Clean, legal, precise. Even the community dock got split. Karen arrived in full meltdown mode, screaming about vandalism and calling the police. The officers reviewed my documents, nodded, and left. So did code enforcement. Margaret's jet ski ramp, useless. Her shade pavilion, split in two. The beach party was over. That night, Karen called an emergency HOA meeting, trying to turn the neighborhood against me, but it backfired. One by one, neighbors spoke up. A retired judge laid out Karen's legal overreach. A gardener shared how her flower bed had been bulldozed by Karen's orders. Margaret's own husband walked in, took one look at the mess, and muttered, "We're leaving." Karen's final move, trying to issue an executive order to tear down the fence. That's when the HOA's actual attorney stood up and said, "Karen has overstepped her authority and exposed us to legal action. She needs to be removed immediately." The vote was unanimous. 3 months later, Karen was charged with fraud, embezzlement, and breach of fiduciary duty. She was sentenced to probation, 300 hours of community service, and ordered to repay $47,000 to the eight. Now, I sip my morning coffee by the lake, in peace. My daughter swims freely, and the fence, it still stands tall, straight, and quiet. A reminder that when you weaponize power, the law eventually strikes back. If you like HOA video, please like and subscribe my channel. The